In this video, we'll review 10 of the best dividend stocks of all time that have performed well for investors in both bull and bear markets. So before we start, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for new weekly investing videos. These days, investors are all about dividend investing as they look for profitable investments due to concerns about a potential recession. Nearly 68% of chief financial officers anticipate a recession during the first half of 2023 and are looking for a steady source of income to weather the market environment, according to CNBC's CFO survey. As a result, investors invested over $3 billion in dividend-focused ETFs in June, bringing the year-to-date total to $43 billion. In a volatile market, value and dividend stocks are appealing. The fact that dividend-paying businesses typically have higher levels of free cash flow means that dividend yields offer a steady stream of income. Dividend stocks have historically made a significant contribution to overall market returns. From 1973 to 2021, companies that paid dividends generated a total annual return of 9.6% as opposed to the S&P 500's 8.2% return during the same period. Some of the top stocks that investors are focusing on are the Coca-Cola Company, NYSE, KO, the Procter & Gamble Company, NYSE, PG, and Merck Company Incorporated, NYSE, MRK, as these have a proven track record of dividend growth. Here are our 10 best dividend stocks of all time. Number 10. Walmart Incorporated, NYSE, WMT. Walmart Incorporated is a multinational retail company that operates a chain of hypermarkets and grocery stores in the U.S. At the end of fiscal Q1 2022, Walmart Incorporated reported $246.1 billion in total assets, up from $244.8 billion in the previous quarter. In first quarter of 2021, the company generated over $24 billion in operating cash flow and returned $15.9 billion in dividends to shareholders. Walmart has been raising its dividends consecutively for the past 45 years. It pays a quarterly dividend of 56 cents per share, with a yield of 1.73%, as of July 2022. The company used 47.8% of its net income in dividends in Q1. In June, Morgan Stanley raised its price target on Walmart Incorporated to $156 with an overweight rating on the shares, highlighting the company's stable customer base. At the end of Q1 2022, 60 hedge funds held stakes in Walmart Incorporated, down from 63 a quarter earlier, according to Insider Monkey's database. These hedge funds hold stakes valued at $6.56 billion. Walmart Incorporated dividend yield as of July 2022 was 1.73%. Number 9. The Kroger Company, NYSE, KR. The Kroger Company is an Ohio-based retail company that operates supermarkets across the U.S. The company has over 2,800 stores across 35 states. In July, UBS called the Kroger Company one of its top 10 stock ideas for the third quarter due to elevated food inflation and the company's improving market trends. The firm kept a buy on the stock. In June of 2022, the Kroger Company announced a quarterly dividend of 26 cents per share, up 24% from the previous dividend. This was the company's 16th consecutive year of dividend growth. The company's payout ratio is 29%, which is consistent with its 5-year average and below the consumer staples industry average of 50%. The company's strong financial health signals future dividend growth, as it expects to generate between $2 to $2.2 billion in free cash flow. As of July 2022, the stock's dividend yield came in at 2.17%. In the Q1 2022, 45 hedge funds held investments in the Kroger Company, worth over $5.1 billion. In the previous quarter, 41 hedge funds owned $4.1 billion worth of stakes in the company. The Kroger Company dividend yield as of July 2022 was 2.17%. Number 8. Colgate Palmolive Company, NYSE, CL. Colgate Palmolive Company is a New York-based consumer products company that deals in household, healthcare, and personal care products. In June of 2022, Evercore ISI called Colgate Palmolive Company one of the best consumer staples stocks for investors due to its pricing power and inflation. The firm raised its price target on the stock to $90 with an outperform rating on the shares. At the end of Q1 2022, Colgate Palmolive Company reported $877 million in cash and cash equivalents, up from $832 million in the previous quarter. The company paid $378 million in dividends during the quarter, compared with $376 million paid during the same period last year. Colgate Palmolive Company has been making dividend payments consecutively for the past 58 years while raising its payouts for 21 years. The company's payout ratio stands at 75%, which is above its 5-year average of 60%. Its current quarterly payout stands at 47 cents per share, with a yield of 2.42%, as of July 2022. Colgate Palmolive Company dividend yield as of July 2022 was 2.42%. Number 7. The Procter & Gamble Company, NYSE, PG. The Procter & Gamble Company is an American multinational consumer goods corporation headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, founded in 1837. P&G specializes in a wide range of personal consumer health, personal care and hygiene products. These products are organized into several segments including beauty, grooming, health care, fabric and home care, and baby, feminine, and family care. The Procter & Gamble Company was appreciated by Wells Fargo in June of 2022 as consumer demand increased and the company's sales momentum is strong. The Procter & Gamble Company spent over $2.2 billion in dividends and generated $3.2 billion in operating cash flow. The company's adjusted free cash flow productivity stood at 75% in Q1 and the company expects it to reach 95% in the fiscal year 2022 with $8 billion allocated in dividend payments. In July 2022, Procter & Gamble Company announced a quarterly dividend of $0.9133 per share, in line with its previous dividend. The company holds a 66-year track record of dividend growth. As of July 2022, the stock's dividend yield came in at 2.55%. The Procter & Gamble Company dividend yield as of July 2022 was 2.55%. Number 6. Johnson & Johnson, NYSE, J&J. Johnson & Johnson is one of the oldest pharmaceutical industry companies. It specializes in medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and consumer goods. In the second quarter of 2022, Johnson & Johnson beat street estimates, generating revenue of $24 billion, up 3% from the same period last year. In the past decade, the stock's share price has tripled and sales are 50% higher than a 10-year-ago period. Johnson & Johnson has raised its dividend consecutively for the past 60 years, with a 5-year CAGR of 5.87%. It currently pays a quarterly dividend of $1.13 per share, with a yield of 2.59%, as of July 2022. In July 2022, Wells Fargo raised its price target on Johnson & Johnson to $195 with an overweight rating on the shares. The firm appreciated the company's Q2 performance and believes that J&J is well positioned to overcome market volatility. Johnson & Johnson's dividend yield as of July 2022 was 2.59%. Number 5. The Coca-Cola Company, NYSE, KO. An American beverage company, the Coca-Cola Company was added to Wells Fargo's recession stock portfolio, as the stock is up 4.67% year-to-date, as of the close of July 19. The firm has an overweight rating on the stock. In Q1 2022, the Coca-Cola Company generated $400 million in free cash flow and expects the number to reach $10.5 billion in FY22. The company's cash flow from operations stood at $620 million at the end of the quarter. In February 2022, the Coca-Cola Company raised its quarterly dividend for the 60th consecutive year to 44 cents per share. Its payout ratio stands at 71.7%, improving from 82.2% in 2021. As of July 2022, the stock's dividend yield came in at 2.85%. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway was the largest stakeholder of the Georgia-based company in Q1, owning 400 million shares. The Coca-Cola Company dividend yield as of July 2022 was 2.85%. Number 4. Merck Company Incorporated, NYSE, MRK. Merck is a New Jersey-based multinational pharmaceutical company that also operates outside US and Canada under different brand names. Merck Company Incorporated offers an annual payout of $2.76 per share, up 8.6% from a year earlier. The company has not slashed its dividends since 1985 and maintains an 11-year track record of consistent dividend growth. In Q1 2022, Merck Company generated $14.7 billion in free cash flow and expects it to reach $25 billion by the end of the year. Its payout ratio sits at 39.5%, down from 43.2% in 2021. As of July 19, the stock's dividend yield came in at 2.97%. In July, street analysts presented a positive outlook on Merck Company Incorporated ahead of its Q2 earnings. Both Morgan Stanley and UBS raised their price targets on the stock to $88 and $98, respectively. Currently, 84 hedge funds own positions in Merck Company with stakes valued at over $5.8 billion. In comparison, 80 hedge funds owned stakes in the company in the previous quarter, worth $3.7 billion. Number 3. Chevron Corporation, NYSE, CVX. Chevron Corporation is a California-based energy company that sells diesel, gasoline, and aviation fuels. The company has 5 U.S. fuel refineries and also owns a network of service stations. In Q1 2022, Chevron Corporation reported total assets worth over $2.6 billion, up from $2.5 billion in the previous quarter. With the company's current market cap of $279 billion, it is expected to generate $31.3 billion in free cash flow over the next 3 years. Chevron Corporation has raised its dividend consistently for the past 25 years, falling into the category of dividend champion. In the past 10 years, it raised its dividend by 62%, which shows its financial strength. The company currently pays a quarterly dividend of $1.42 per share, with a yield of 4.06%, as of the close of July 19. In July 2022, Bank of America lowered its price target on Chevron Corporation but kept a buy rating on the shares, as oil prices rise in the U.S. At the end of March 2022, 53 hedge funds owned stakes in Chevron Corporation, the same as in the previous quarter. The collective value of these stakes is nearly $28 billion. Warren Buffett, Ken Fisher, and Ken Griffin were some of the company's prominent stakeholders in the first quarter. Chevron Corporation's dividend yield as of July 2022 was 4.06%. Number 2. Exxon Mobil Corporation, NYSE, XOM. Exxon Mobil Corporation is a Texas-based international oil and gas company that also develops next-generation technologies to meet the world's growing energy needs. In Q1 2022, Exxon Mobil Corporation generated over $14.8 billion in cash flow from operating activities, which is more than covering capital investment and shareholder distributions. Free cash flow for the quarter came in at $11 billion, up from $7 billion in the same period last year. Exxon Mobil Corporation maintains a 39-year streak of dividend growth. The company pays a quarterly dividend of 88 cents per share, with a dividend yield of 4.09%, as of July 2022. Also in July, Piper Sandler upgraded Exxon Mobil Corporation to overweight, as the company continued to invest in major oil and gas projects globally. The number of hedge funds owning stakes in Exxon Mobil Corporation grew to 83 in Q1 2022, from 71 a quarter earlier. These hedge funds hold a collective stake worth over $8.5 billion. Exxon Mobil Corporation dividend yield as of July 2022 was 4.09%. Number 1. International Business Machines Corporation, NYSE, IBM. An American multinational tech company, International Business Machines Corporation, generated $1.3 billion in net cash from operating activities and $2.1 billion in free cash flow. The company returned $1.5 billion to shareholders through dividends in Q2. International Business Machines Corporation has been making consistent dividend payments since 1916 while maintaining a 27-year track record of dividend growth. As of July 19, the stock's dividend yield came in at 4.78%. In July 2022, Morgan Stanley lifted its price target on International Business Machines Corporation to $157, with an overweight rating on the shares. The firm mentioned IBM as one of the best performing stocks in its coverage in 2022 so far and expects the company's outperformance in the second half of the year. In Q1 2022, 43 hedge funds owned stakes in International Business Machines Corporation, down slightly from 44 in the previous quarter. IBM's dividend yield as of July 2022 was 4.78%. Which of these 10 dividend stocks would you like to add to your investment portfolio? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for weekly videos on the best stocks to buy, investing strategies, and much more. Thank you for watching.